Okay, it's time to begin. First, let's start off by asking you to make sure you have your phones all the time, please. And so I want to welcome you to Vincennes University, those who are visiting, and welcome you to this graduation. We've got friends, I know, and family, and we have some people online. We welcome them all to this day. Today ago started here. We're looking forward to this day. Now, normally we have Dave Tucker, who's the Vice President of Community Services and Workforce Development, do these remarks, but he was away on business today. And then we filled in for him in Jerry Rubel, who's the Director of Business and Industry Training. He's away on business today. So I'm filling in for both those roles, I guess. But I know they very much like being here and being at this graduation because they very rarely miss. They both, and all of us too, myself, Michelle, all the instructors, we hold this partnership in very high regard. Dave always says in his meetings that it's the most rewarding program creation that he's been involved in since he came to Vincennes University. And he's been here for a lot of years, worked on a lot of things, and this is probably the one that he feels most rewarding in what he's been a part of and involved in. It's just a little bit of brief. Started in April 2019. And that's when kind of Amazon, they got to, and so they first approached the development of it in April 2019. And then by October 2019, they had graduated the first cohort. It was a pilot cohort. They did 2 pilot cohorts up in Indianapolis. The way it was going to envision to start with is way different than what it is now. It's going to be a 2-year deal where you work some and then you went to school some and then back to work and so forth. And then they said, hey, there's no way we can get the number of people through this doing it that way. So then it got shrunk down to 12 weeks, and then now it's been shrunk down again to the 9 weeks that you're here starting this year. But the implementation and the execution of getting this program up and running was done very, very quickly in terms of the way, to get this going, get this rolling. And so here you are the 71st cohort to graduate from this campus. And so there's been it's on the back of your graduate bulletin. So we've had and so there's been many after you, but it doesn't really matter. And you still have to achieve all the requirements that are expected of you. So the thing is that, in the time that it began to now, there's been a lot of changes that have taken place in those 6 years. And I know change is unusual for Amazon, right? They never change anything. But it's just a joke, right? They change a lot, they change very rapidly. And I think, sort of your experience here kind of mirrors that because you had to change very quickly, right? You had to go from one subject to another in snap of the fingers, right? You had to take in a lot of new information. You had to be able to retain and be able to pass your hands-on exams. So this 9 weeks that you've been here, It's very rapid, very fast paced, and you have to take in a lot of information. You have to be able to be competent in learning that information. And, in that end of that 9 weeks, everybody here achieved that and was able to do that, and that's a big accomplishment. You should, be very proud of yourself for doing that. In addition, you were putting forth a lot of sacrifices also in being here for 9 weeks, being away from family, being away, just from your home, being away from what's comfortable, what's normal, and then your families too had to also sacrifice a lot of things while you were away. And so we appreciate all the support that others gave you while you were here, families and friends and others. It's all kind of works together. It's all part of it. You being here and those that you had to leave behind, supporting you while you're here. And, the combination of those things, you understanding what your reasons for being here were, and them helping you to do that, that's what makes this work. So I just say give yourselves and your family all the time. 9 weeks is a long time to be away. So congratulations on that. In your time here, you had to you are there for maybe a week, and then at the end, you basically walk out and just kind of learn. Your time here, you had a lot riding on getting things done here and passing things. So it's a lot of pressure, very, very that needs to be done. And so I think part of this setup here is just to see, are you capable of applying things, putting in effort that's needed. All those things are things that you'll take back to your workplace, and those are all things that you'll be able to use even at home. Hopefully you thought you were when you first came here. So we're real proud of you, and we hope you're proud of yourself for what you've done. What I'd like to do next here with graduation is to have a couple of student speakers to speak about their experience here these past 9 weeks. And we always like to have some of the apprentices to speak, kind of give their perspective of